there, facing new calls to resign over leaked conversation that reveal his role in a profane, sexist, and homophobic group chat. The island, as you know, has struggled to recover from Hurricane Maria back in 2017, and Governor Ricardo Rossello's administration has been plagued by scandals involving funding. Two top officials stepped down over the weekend after the leaked conversation. It showed Rosello and his allies discussing confidential government information and disparaging officials, politicians, and journalists. CTM lead national correspondent David Begnaud is among the people targeted in that chat. What? He's in San Juan. David, I'm very curious about this conversation, and especially to hear you were someone who was targeted. What are they saying?
Well, they didn't like one of the reports we did about crime on the island, Gail, so they talked about attacking us on social media, specifically me, to discredit our reporting because they said we were going to kill tourism on the island. The governor was the administrator of this secret chat room that had 11 other people. They talked about setting up a troll network to go after people who they didn't like. The chats are profane, very vulgar, but beyond that, what's really important is there's information that could become the subject of a federal investigation to determine whether or not a crime was committed. The governor says he will not resign, but ever since the chats were leaked, the protests have not stopped.
Overnight, fireworks right in front of the governor's mansion were a show of protest. Demonstrators are demanding that the 40-year-old governor resign. Sunday morning, as his political support was collapsing around him, the governor went to church saying he had sought forgiveness. The leaked chat room conversations between the governor and 11 others are laced with profane, homophobic, and sexist comments, and in one case, talk of violence against the mayor of San Juan, Carmen Yulín Cruz. The governor's chief financial officer, Christian Sobrino, wrote, "I'm dying to shoot her up." The governor responded, "You'd be doing me a big favor."
I think they did a lot of illegal things during these conversations.
Carla Minette leads Puerto Rico's Center for Investigative Journalism, which published 889 pages of the conversations.
They were part of a conspiracy to persecute people because of political beliefs. I think definitely they used public funds to do political work that is unbelievable from a public servant.
Just last week, the FBI arrested two of the governor's former top officials on fraud charges involving more than $15 million of federal funding. The governor's administration has been under scrutiny for its spending of government funds after Hurricane Maria devastated the island in 2017.
For Puerto Ricans, this has been basically our Watergate.
Caribbean scholar Yurimar Bonilla writes about post-Hurricane Maria recovery.
The government is distracted, thinking about its image, worrying about how they're being represented in the press, instead of attending to the matters of the recovery.
That is really scary on democracy.
Arnaldo Claudia was one of the people targeted in the group chat. He was appointed by the Justice Department 5 years ago to bring reform to Puerto Rico's police department.
This is not right at all, and it needs to be condemned. They cannot have people like this trying to coerce people or trying to use their level in government to harm people. It's wrong.
That man you just saw has gone to the FBI and asked them to open an investigation. The governor of Puerto Rico says what he said in the chat room was simply venting because he was overworked and he was letting some steam off. The governor's party 48 hours ago looked like they were going to abandon him, potentially try to impeach him. But late last night, Tony, they changed their tune. Now they're saying we're going to give him a chance to catch his breath and reflect on what he does next. We asked the governor for an interview. They haven't gotten back to us. And by the way, there's a report on the island just this morning that says more chat messages will be leaked very soon.
All right, David, thank you very much. Really,
I would think, David, he's not looking forward to talking to you.
No, I was going to say.
You're just going to go by his place? What's your next plan to get him?
Well, we can't even get to the governor's mansion because it's blocked off. You have these protesters here who set up throughout the night and didn't leave. There are more protests planned for later today, but I'm going to put in another request in about an hour to see if we can talk to him.